Okay, so um, yeah, today is going to be a coffee cup demonstrating import export from Maya of your models and import into Substance Painter, and then some overview of the basics of Substance Painter, and then in the next video we'll do some extra stuff with Substance. So anyway, um, so this is what we're going to be aiming for. Um, it's a simple model, obviously, but you get the concept. So here we have a high poly and a low poly. So just for now, I'm going to hide the low poly, and we've got little ridges there, hole up top, nice rounded corners. Uh, you know, there's a lid. So this one is 6,880 faces. Okay, and the low poly is 320. So why would we want to bake a normal map for high poly to low poly? Well, it will save polygons in your game, or your render, whatever, but they'll look pretty much the same. Now I could add more details to this if I really wanted to. In fact, I might do that. Oops, wrong one. Let's hide the high poly so we can get in here, and then turn off symmetry. And then sorry about that. We wanted an offset first. So I'm just going to kind of generally offset this. That might be a little too thin. That looks about good. Hit G to do another extrude. Keep those faces together. And bring them maybe right about there. Now we'll see how that matches up to the high poly. It'll work. I think it'll be okay. Alright, so when you're doing high poly to low poly, or also when you're doing ID maps like we talked about before. So I'm going to go ahead and use an ID map on this one. Actually, I can just use just a Lambert. I'm going to make two of them. I'm going to make one red and one green, why not? And those were Lambert 3 and 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these faces and then hit shift and greater than, extend that selection out until we get to the rest of the lid here. So one more. There we go. There's our lid. And then I'm going to right click and assign to. I'm going to reselect those faces and select invert. And then assign Lambert 3 to the other one. So now we can bake a ID map off of this too. And I just did that backward. You have to assign the ID map to your high poly. I am sorry about that. Got carried away. So same idea. We are gonna go hold down tab. Actually, if I just select these here in the center, of course this is the high poly, so we have a lot more faces to select. Almost there, I think. Let's go to wireframe and take a look. Okay. Couple more. And there we go. Then we'll do the same process. And then select and inverse. There we go. So now we have the lid and the what do you call it? The body of the cup. And actually I went slightly too far with that. So I'm actually going to select those 3 edge loops and change that. So now that's cleaned up a little bit better. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, now that we have that, so that's how you assign different materials to different sections. In fact, we can even assign one on the bottom. Well, I should probably make a material first. So we'll go here, go to Maya, do a Lambert. Let's go yellow, because sometimes the bottom of the cup is, you know, just a basic like white paper. even if the rest of the cup is colored. So now we'll just do shift and let's maybe take it up to the edge there. And assign number 4. So there we go. There you go. Now you got 3 colors. So select your faces and assign the material to it, and that's all you have to do. So remember, the high poly can have extra details, it can be super high poly, and it can have colors assigned colors assigned to it for an ID map. It does not need UV unwrapped. So if you look at this one, the UV unwrap is completely wrong and totally messed up. And it doesn't matter because we're not worried about that. But the low poly has to be unwrapped. Okay. Now we added those extra edge loops in here. So I'm actually going to select that edge. Let me turn off the high poly just so we don't get mixed up. So I'm going to grab that and well, we'll just stitch it together because it won't matter here in a second that it's messy. Then we'll grab this edge instead. And we will cut it right there. And everything else should stay the same. So I'm going to grab all these shells and hit unfold. And apparently this got cut when it wasn't supposed to. So we'll grab these edges, sew them, shell, unfold. There we go. Unfold it again. And arrange in layout, straighten UVs, layout. There we go. Now, you want to make sure that you have the top edge. So right now, the top of the cup is on the bottom. So we don't want that. So we're going to rotate it. Doop. There we go. And it's good. All right. Now, something else along with this UV unwrapping. If you plan on using Photoshop or Illustrator along with Substance Painter, you can do that. But you have to select the UV shells, go up to Image and UV Snapshot, and then select your image format. Usually I just go JPEG 4096. You can pick your edge color. That's just whatever color the wireframe shows up in. Green usually looks good. Leave this alone and then pick where you want it to go. So I'm going to spit it out here and put it coffee cup UV, and this is my second version, so I'll just call it number 2. Apply and close. Now you have this that you can open up in Photoshop and apply graphics to. So we will open Photoshop and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's create new, and we'll go 4096, doesn't matter.